wrist crease. From there it ultimately ends on the pinky finger on the radial side. So we all know the inside the energy it gets completed. So that means from the axilla it descends on the downwards direction and then it flows on the down to the wrist, and from the wrist it terminates on the small finger, that is pinky finger. So there is the one branch from here it starts. So from the H8 Xiaofu the energy moves in this direction here, right? So now let's see. So step by step. So what are the other pathways which we need to understand, which we call as a divergent meridian, which we call as a muscles meridian. The muscles meridian origin, it starts from the heart itself. From the heart, that one branch reaching to the axilla, the another branch ascends the upward direction and reaching to the inner canthus of the eye, right? The channel separates from the primary channel at the axilla, connects with the heart, and connects with the small intestine channel at the inner canthus of the eye, where there is a small intestine 18. So through that it communicates to the inner canthus of the eye. So that meridian which we call as a divergent meridian pathway. So another, the sinuous meridian pathway which we call as is a muscle and tendinosus pathway. So where its origin starts from the pinky finger. From the pinky finger it binds on the wrist region. You can see the binding is where is it binding? It starts from the pinky finger and binds on the black color mark you can see on the wrist. There it binds. Again the energy moves from the wrist and then again binds on the medial side of the elbow. From the elbow it binds on the axilla. From the axilla the energy moves and communicates to the cardiac system. From there it descends to the downwards direction and communicates to the navel. Right? This is the pathway which we call as a sinuous channel pathway. Then the heart luo connecting vessel, or which we call as a nexary vessel, or there is a passage vessel. How does it connect it? So let's see that there is the energy starting from the point which we call as a luo connecting point or nexary point, that is tumli, that is heart 5. From the heart 5 the energy moves upward direction to the axilla. From the axilla it goes to the heart system. From the heart it communicates upward direction and reaching to the center of the pupil of the eye. Right? The divergent meridian starting is from the axilla to heart. From the heart it goes to the inner canthus of the eye, whereas in this starts from the wrist. From the wrist it goes to the axilla to heart. From the heart it goes to the central pupil of the eye. So that's the luo connecting point. Now you remember it communicates to it's going to the chin. From the chin it goes interiorly communicating to the tongue, and also it is externally communicating to the inside the eye system, retina system as well. So now you understand when you activate the tumli point, H5 point, so that also supports to the heart and supports to the vision as well, supports to the tongue also. Remember this. So these and all is the different kinds of the pathway apart from the primary meridian pathway, which everybody, each and every acupuncturist should know this, the different pathways of the system of each and every meridian. Then only you understand how does it work. Because of the TCM, physiology and anatomy is totally different from the Western anatomy and physiology. Of course, we need to bind together in order to understand in the appropriate manner, no doubt in that. But at the same time, when the good acupuncturist, he doesn't know the different meridian pathways. Even in the examination, we will ask you, write down the divergent meridian pathway, write down the sinuous meridian pathway, write down the cutaneous pathway, write down the connectivity pathway, write down the course of the primary pathway. Certainly we will ask the question, because we understand there is the condition. Now H5 we will write in our book. So this point is good to treat for the vision. But you are in confusion. How does it work this point? Because of heart meridian starts from the axilla and terminates on the finger. Then how does it connected to the eye? Now there is a question arises within you, and this works for the small intestine also. How does it work? You understand the sinuous meridian is communicating to the small intestine. Now you understand that is nexary point is communicating to the eye system. Due to that reason, all these things you should understand. There is a one good acupuncturist to know all the meridian system. So now you just understand H5.1 also good point to treat for all the related to the vision disorder. Am I right or wrong? There is a pathway is communicating over there, right? Please come on. No. Sinuous meridian is the tendon meridian, and divergent meridian are related to the muscle meridian. Musculocutaneous meridian, musculotendinosus meridian together we call as a muscle, that means divergent and tendon meridian together. So musculotendinosus meridians are divided into two. One is the muscle meridian is the divergent meridian, and tendinosus meridian called as a sinuous meridian. The luvo connecting, this called as here, not written here, but this meridian called as the luvo connecting vessel. Now let's see the total number of the points for the heart meridian. Heart is monarch, we all know, but how only the 9 points are existing in this cardiac system. So of course there are the points are maximum number of the points are, there is a conductivity, there is a electrical current, each and every meridian, there is the electricity passes in certain areas of the body. Based on that, acupuncture points has been identified by the ancient people. Those points called as the acupuncture points, right? One is HE1 or H1, so which we call as a Chi-Chuan, Jiquan, Chi-Chuan. So that point is located at the center of the axilla. Remember, now I am telling you where the points are located. You just look at the image. So by looking image itself, try to find out where the points are located. Certainly that point is located at the center of the, you just uplift the finger hand. So once you abducted your hand, so then you can find is the center. In this center there is a point which we call as a H1. Now you need to find out, touch and feel, because of this not vulnerable point this is, but at the same time if in fact we wanted to use this point for the paralysis conditions, frozen shoulder conditions, we ask them to lift the hand, so therefore we can apply the needle to improve the overall physiology of the shoulder muscles and also shoulder bones as well, and also now. So now there is a artery which we call as a axillary artery. When really you wanted to apply this, so you just in the two ways I can recommend you. One way you just try to palpate if the hygienic is there, so that area we can palpate the artery called as a axillary artery. So away from that, beside of that artery, we should insert the needle. Number one. So or else when we don't want to test that spot and then we wanted to apply the needle, then you just apply the needle. The needle is erect and standing in the right position, that means without slanting, without shaking. So that indicates you have applied in the precise manner. Then if there is no shaking, then that point itself is the right point, you can apply that over that area itself. If it is getting changed, as I told you, LU9 also located on the radial artery. When you apply on the LU9 point, the needle gets slanting or maybe kind of changing the position, then immediately withdraw and then apply on the beside of that. So similar way, H1 also to be applied with the caution, or else you can ignore that point, is not a problem. So So when especially good point to treat for the various kinds of the atrophic syndromes, and also it is related to the frozen shoulder point as well. Right? Am I clear? Now let's move on to the heart 2 point. That point is Qingling, Qingling. Qingling. Sometimes in the book they have mentioned Qingling, Chuan. Even that also right point. So this point is exactly located. So now let's see to the third point, H3. Then we'll move on to the second point. So now where is the H3 point is located? It's the most crucial point, H3. I'll tell you the location. That point is located on the medial side of the elbow, midway between the medial end of the cubital crease and then epicondyle of the humerus. Medial epicondyle of the humerus. How to find out this point? Now you just try to find out the medial end of the cubital crease. This is the medial end. This is the lateral end of the cubital crease. Once you medial end, you just come down. So most of the acupuncturist does a mistake, but lateral end is LI11, medial end is H3. But that is not actually, ideally we wanted to know. So that LI11 is located midway between the epicondyle of the lateral epicondyle of the humerus and then lateral end of the cubital crease. Midway between LI11 is located. Yeah. See, where is LI11? So this is when you semi-flex the hand. When you semi-flex the hand, not fully, adducted. This is partially adducted, and then you can find this the lateral end of the cubital crease. From here, there is the lateral end of the epicondyle of the humerus. So from here to here, midway between the point is located, AQ11 is here. In the similar way, this is the medial end of the cubital crease. So from here, so medial end, then medial epicondyle of the humerus. So midway between these two, the point is located. That point to be called as a Shanghai, that is H3. Right? So even you can have a look here. So where the H3 is located on the, now you can see here very clearly. The point is located where the medial end of the cubital crease. We have not applied the point on the medial end, but it is away from the medial end of the cubital crease, and then the point is located midway between the epicondyle of the humerus. So therefore, that point is good point to treat for what kind of the condition? All the conditions of the cardiac system. Because of this point is the grandmother point. This point to be called as a tonification point. This point to be called as a stabilizing and reinforcing point. This point is taking the energy from the kidney to the cardiac system. When the heart, the kidneys functions are excessive, then cardiac function is very poor. Even that condition we are activating to regulate all the conductivity system of the heart system. It is improvement of the coronary arteries. It supplies the more blood to the coronary arteries, and it supplies the more left ventricle taken care. The aortic wall related conditions to be taken place by activating the H3 point. So therefore, the most of the conditions related to the cardiac system, so we try to find out one single point. That point itself can cure most of the diseases. This point belongs to the EC point. This point belongs to the conjunctory point. This point belongs to the homeostatic point to the cardiac system. So therefore, once you activate this point, so that what are the physiology I told you about the functional part of the Western medicine, and also the TCM physiology of the heart, all together this one point to be activated to treat for the heart system. Understand everyone? Good. Now we will see where the point is located, H2. Now H2 point is located 3 Chun proximal. 3 Chun proximal means away from that means closer to the H3. 3 Chun above from the H3, the point is located, that is heart 2, on the brachialis muscles. These muscles called as a biceps muscles. These muscles called as a triceps muscles, right? So this point is located H2 point, 3 chone above from the vertically above the 3 chone above from the heart 3 is H2 point. H2 point also it is the vulnerable point, and it's not so important point. Because of that also there is a artery passing as a branches and collateral of the ulnar artery is moving from the H2 to H3 region. So therefore with caution you just apply H2 point, but H3 of course that point easily we can activate, but P3 point should be vulnerable. H3 point will be safe to apply to the patient, right? So how do you apply? Towards the tonification. When I told you this point belongs to the nourishing point, attuning point, tonification point, stabilizing point, then therefore you just use this point towards the energy flow. So how to apply the needle? Where the energy starts? The energy starts from here and descends the downwards direction, moving to the wrist. So now the point to be activated towards this direction, towards the H3. So this direction, this opposite direction, you should not insert the needle. But if you are in dilemma, either I need to activate or deactivate, then you just apply on the perpendicular direction. The point is located here, apply perpendicularly. That also quite enough. If you are in dilemma or confusion, right? To say excessive heat. Of course that time we can use, rather than this point we can use some other sun point is more recommended, but however for that condition we can sedate this point also recommended, but sedation is not good for this. Also in the beginner you cannot totally understand, but later on you just use the this also to be considered as a water point, at the same time is a tonification point. Better we can use the one point called as a wind point, that is H9. We can bleed to bring down the excessive heat in the heart system. That point called as a H9, you can bleed. So when you feel there is excessive heat in the cardiac system, right? Then let's move on to the heart fold, that is Ling-Tao. L-I-N-G-T-A-O, Ling-Tao. So that point is located 1.5 chun proximal to the transverse wrist crease on the anterior border of the flexor carpi radial, flexor carpi ulnaris tendon. Right? This whole pathway, you touch and feel there is a tendon. Please you touch and feel the tendon on the ulnar side. Ulnar side means pinky finger side. You touch and feel and there is a tendon. So the tendon called as a flexor carpi ulnaris tendon. Right? So the tendon inside, that means is the radial side of the tendon on the flexor carpi ulnaris. All the 4 points are located, that is H4 to H7. All 4 points are located inside the tendon towards the radial side. And most of the people will does a mistake, and sometimes they apply not on the medial side of the, that means on the radial side of the tendon, but they apply the H7 here, and these points are the heart. But this not the heart, but this belongs to the small intestine, interior to the tendon. That means interior to this tendon, these points. So these points are called as a H4, 5, 6, 7. Now what distance these points are located, the physiology is different from each point. Right? Now H4, the point is the grandson point, sedative point, depletion point. It reduces the energy, depletes the energy. So that means it indicates that whatever the excessive energy in the cardiac system, that energy brings to the pulmonary system. H4 is equal to Lu10. Lu10 is equal to H4 Ug and then ning tau. Both are, there is an interconnectivity between the lungs and then heart system. Right? To regulate this respiratory and circulatory system, H4 point is really good to activate. So therefore H4 point is good to treat for all the pulmonary system disorders. And also when the person have excessive heat in the cardiac system and excessive fire in the sleeplessness, insomnia, and then excessive head related issues, the lot of heat is existing on the upper side of the body. And even now you said me there is a problem in the cardiac system, that also there is excessive heat, that also can drain out by activating H4, that is ning tau. The point is located, again I will repeat once again, that is 1.5 tune. That means this is, so from here this is the wrist crease, so this is the wrist crease, this transverse wrist crease, that is the horizontal wrist crease. From here 2 fingers you just place, 2 fingers you just place like this, and then the lower portion of the, from here the point is located here. So that means you touch and feel the tendons inside, not the outside. This is the outside, this is the medial side, this is the lateral side, and this is the ventral side, this is the dorsal side. Right? Now you need to find out the point is located in this tendon, flexor carpi ulnaris tendon, on the medial side, close to the pericardium channel. So hope I am clear, right? Then H5, the point is located 1 tune proximal to the ventral wrist crease. So that point called as a tumle, where I told you this point to be called as a lugo connecting point and nexary point and communicating point for the interior and exterior. So what is interior and exterior? It communicates to the colon also. It communicates to the tenointestinal called as a small intestine as well. Right? So therefore this point is communicating to the regulating the both husband and wife relationship, and also to regulate the cardiac system and tongue system, and also to improve the overall physiology of the vision as well. Am I right? Good. So now let's move on to the H6 point, that point called as a IMC. That point is located, R6 is 0.5 tune proximal to the H7 on the, another point, the last point on the wrist. This is the most crucial point, that point to be called as a Shenmen, that is H7, where the point is located on the wrist crease. So this wrist crease is the whole place where exactly the whole wrist, there are the how many bones are existing on the wrist. There are the totally 8 bones are existing. So 8 bones are, so one is the trapezium muscles, trapezium bones, and the trapezoid, and the capitate, and the hamate, and then pisiform. There are the 5 bones are existing. There are the 5 fingers. That means one thumb is the trapezium, the index finger is trapezoid, middle finger is capitate, and ring finger is hamate, and then last finger is pisiform bone. Right? So these bones called as the wrist bones. Then towards the scaphoid bone and the triquetral bone, so lunate bone. So these are the 3 bones are existing on the this region, where it is closer to the radius and ulna. So now the points H7 is located under the beneath of the pisiform bone. The smallest bone of the wrist called as a pisiform bone. So under that bone the point is located, that point to be called as a H7 or closer to that point. You just apply that point. So superior to that, if you apply also, that works and it regulates to the cardiac system. Right? So this H7 really good to treat for the coronary arteries. The P7 and H7, both the points are good to treat for the coronary arteries in our body. So this to be activated, this to be tonified, but we all know the H7 point is the sedative point, sun point, depletion point, and also it is the activating point to the spleen system. H7 is equal to Dhatu, that is spleen 2. So both the points are communicating point together. So therefore, once you activate this point, it regulates the digestive system, and also it regulates the cardiac system. The quality of the H7 belongs to it is a source point. The source point means it receives the energy from the coupled organ, that organ called as a small intestine. So therefore, if you sedated this point, again it receives energy back to that particular organ. That is the beauty of the heart. Due to that reason, you can apply number of the times. You can apply any cardiac problem, that one point you can select that point to be called as a Shenmen. So Shenmen is the hand Shenmen. The ear also there is a point called as a ear Shenmen as well. Right? So this is the most crucial point is H7 to treat for most of the cardiac disorder, but especially this treat for the coronary arteries. Right side of the point treat for the right coronary artery, left side the H7 treat for the left coronary artery, because of the two different branches of the arteries. Coronary artery supplies to the heart blood. So therefore this is a good point. When you look at the H8 point, that is Shafo. So this point you can see the image. You just the point is located on the palmar, on the palmar surface. Exactly the point when you clench your fingers, close your fingers, where it touches your middle finger and then ring finger. So that particular point is called as a that point is ring finger and then pinky finger where it touches. That means when you semi-flex the fingers and then where it touches the pinky finger and then ring finger, that point called as a H8. When the middle finger and then ring finger touches, that point called as a pericardium 8. So later on I will teach you that. But however, the ring finger and the middle finger where it communicates, that point is treatable for all the related to the cardiac system, especially the conduction to be taken place. What conduction? Sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, Purkinje fibers and bundle of his, which we